it's me, the ukulele teacher, here to teach you how to play Time Adventure, the amazing song from the amazing Rebecca Sugar from the last ever episode of Adventure Time. So, grab your uke. Make sure it's in tune, and if you need help tuning your uke, then be sure to go ahead and download my free app, the Ukulele Teacher app, right now. And when it is in tune, your uke should sound like this. Now before we go any further, I'm going to play you through the intro, verse and chorus first to give you guys a rough idea of how it should sound when you've learned it. But before I do that, I want you guys to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more lessons like this one, and please go ahead and subscribe and turn on the notifications so you never miss a lesson. Also, leave a comment telling me what your favourite Adventure Time memory was. I got the song sheet for this one from the amazing Ukulele Hunt website, so go ahead and download a song sheet yourself first from there so you can follow along. I put the link to it right in the description. Time is an illusion that helps things make sense, so we're always living in the present tense. It seems unforgiving when a good thing ends, but you and I will always be back then. 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 Singing will happen, happening, happened, and will happen, happening, happen, and we will happen again and again, 'cause you and I will always be back then. Now there are some unusual chords in this song, but they're not too difficult and there is a lot of repetition. So once you get the 4 major chords down, you've got most of the song sorted. These are the main chords that you'll need for the song. If you already know them, then skip ahead now. To play the chord of C major 7, just put your second finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. And the chord of C major 7 should sound like this. And to play the chord of C6, just lift up that finger and leave all 4 strings open. And the chord of C6 should sound like this. Now to play the chord of F major 7 and F6, you do exactly the same thing, but slide the whole shape up to the 5th fret. So for the chord of F major 7, you bar the 5th fret with your 1st finger. That means you push down on all 4 strings at the same time, and then you add your 3rd finger to the 7th fret of the 1st string. And F major 7 should sound like this. And then F6 is just that bar chord on the 5th fret, like this. To play the chord of G7, put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. And the chord of G7 should sound like this. And to play the chord of D7, bar that 2nd fret with your 1st finger, and then add your 2nd finger to the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And the chord of D7 should sound like this. So for the intro, you just repeat the chords of C major 7 to C6, and then F major 7 to F6, like this. Now the first thing you need to do is get the fingers on your right hand into position. For that you need to put your thumb above the 4th string, and then your 1st, 2nd and 3rd fingers underneath the 3rd, 2nd and 1st strings, like this. Thumb, 1, 2, 3. Because we're going to be doing quite a lot of plucking in the song, and if you have your fingers in the right place, it's going to make it a lot easier. Now the main pattern on these chords is you start off on the C major 7 and you play the 1st finger, then you play all 4 strings together, and then you go to the C6 by lifting up your 2nd finger and play all 4 strings again, like this. So it's 1st finger, all 4 strings, and then C6. Then play it again. 1st finger, all 4 strings, C6. Then you slide up to the F major 7 and do exactly the same thing again. 1st finger, all 4 strings, and then F6, all 4 strings. 1st finger, all 4 strings, F6, all 4 strings. So just practice playing that slowly at first. And now let's play it a little bit faster. And that's how to play your intro. Now the verse itself is nice and straightforward because you just repeat the following 4 chords all the way through. F major 7, G7, C major 7 and C6. And for the F major 7 and G7, most of the time you're just plucking all 4 strings together like this. And then for the C major 7 to C6, we play the same thing as the intro. So basically all the way through the verse we're playing F major 7, G7, and then the C major 7 to C6 part of the intro. And if you play that through 7 times, then you've got your verse. It should sound something like this. Time is an illusion that helps things make sense, so we're always living in the present tense. It seems unforgiving when a good thing ends, but you and I will always be back then. You and I will always be back then. And for that little do-do-do bit, I'm just playing strings 3, 2 and 1 on the C6 chord, like this. 3, 2, 1. You and I will always be back then. You and I will always be back then. You and I will always be back then. The chorus is very similar to the verse. There are 4 lines in it and lines 1 and 4 are the same as the verse. But lines 2 and 3 you play a different chord at the end. F major 7 to G7 to C major 7 to D7, like this. So lines 1 and 4 are like this. And lines 2 and 3 are like this. So if you put that all together, your chorus should sound like this. Singing, will happen, happening, happened, and will happen, happening, happened, and we will happen again and again, 'cause you and I will always be back then. After the chorus you go into the middle section, and that's the part that goes like this. If there was some amazing force outside of time to take us back to where we were, and hang each moment up like pictures on the wall inside a billion tiny frames so that we can see it all, it will look like. Now for that we need some new chords, and these are the chords we'll need. If you already know them, then skip ahead now. To play the chord of G minor, put your first finger on the first fret of the first string, your second finger on the second fret of the third string, and your third finger on the third fret of the second string. And the chord of G minor should sound like this. To play the chord of C7, just lift up your second and third fingers and leave your first finger on the first fret of the first string. And the chord of C7 should sound like this. To play the chord of F, put your first finger on the first fret of the second string and your second finger on the second fret of the fourth string, and the chord of F should sound like this. And to play the chord of D minor, just add your third finger to the second fret of the third string, and the chord of D minor should sound like this. Now for this part of the song, I basically just play one soft downstroke with my thumb on each chord. There are 2 lines, each of G minor to C7 to F to D minor. If there was some amazing force outside of time to take us back to where we were, and hang each moment up like pictures on the wall inside a billion tiny frames so that we can see it. And then you end with a D7 and 2 G7s like this. It will look like. And then we go into the final chorus, which is very similar to the first chorus, but it's a little bit longer, and you just finish by playing the intro through once. Put that all together, and that's how to play Time Adventure by Rebecca Sugar. I've been the ukulele teacher. If you have any requests for future lessons, then let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I love you all, and I wish you the best.